Hello traders, and welcome at my final video of the year for the Bitcoin and crypto. We have now holiday season coming up, which means Bitcoin and crypto and global markets will be very sleepy for the next 2 weeks. I don't recommend you to be active scalper or day trader. You can just have set alerts and enjoy holidays with your family and friends. It's very likely in 2 weeks we will be at the same place where we were starting. And we will be in today's video going over my view for the Bitcoin for the next few weeks, yes, and how 2026, like I will have some predictions for the 2026, we will see how they play out. But it's good to enter a new year with a solid plan. I also want to look back just very briefly on 2025. So many of you reported me, you increased your profitability and consistency. Some of you become true profitable traders, some of you are getting there. It's very likely result of the Bitcoin heroes because every single day I'm spending on market 8 to 12 hours. I'm getting better on all the macro and all types of edge, and I'm passing it to you, which means you are profiting from that, because this is absolutely not work for me. It's maximum passion for me. When something is passion for me, there are no limits. I will just reach the maximum what I can in this life. So, and you are just part of my journey. I also want to thank you for being around in the YouTube community, watching my videos, and also for our community on Bitcoin Heroes, of course, because I know many of you on the personal level. I know your trading journey, your struggles, your victories. It's just awesome. We have such a kind community, and I couldn't wish for anything better. And trading communities are very useful. Don't think trading alone is just sometimes it's not ideal, because you can just share trade ideas, you can verify your trade idea. You don't have to be alone. Being part of something larger is always useful. Now in 2025 we expanded knowledge for edge. We pretty much mastered the order flow and technical analysis with price action. This is easily digested and mastered with our traders. But I also want to expand in 2026 into another type of edge. In 2025 we already did some of that. I'll release swing course for people who don't have much time to trade. That's another type of edge use, because you don't care about how many longs are entering at the low. But for swings, you have more time to enter. So you need to use a bit of different combination of tools, right? So that's released. And now I also started to show you on YouTube and in the group options, macro analysis, and news trading as well. So all these things. In 2026, I want to finish the courses pretty much for that. So you see, news trading I already have prepared. In January, very likely at the end of the January, I want to finish and release that news trading section, because I was starting my trading career as a news trader. That was very long time ago, like 10 years back, when the markets were different. Crypto was just in diapers. And news trading for many people is solid way how to trade current edge in the market. Many market participants on bank floors, they are just lurking and they are just watching and hunting those news events, which are producing 90% like directional trades. It's valid edge in these markets. We don't have many edge because 95% of the information around the world is just noise, and is unlikely when you're trying to be from beginner to advanced trader and to be profitable trader, you find person who is teaching you correct methods which are working in the current market, because these are changing. Like 2021 was a bit easier to trade because the edge was edge needed to succeed as a trader was smaller in crypto. Right now is more challenging because you have ETFs, for example. You have much wider market and is less centralized. Every single year the market is getting less centralized. Ultimately, we reach the same stage as for traditional markets, where you have many dark pools, where you have big banks trading own liquidity pools. It's going to be a bit harder. But right now, the trading for crypto is still great, and we just need to continue improving with the market and the available edge. So 2025, all these topics were expanded, but in 2026 I want to finish all the courses. So if someone comes into the group, he chooses, okay, I want to be intraday trader and scalper. He picks those and then he starts to learn it. Or he can choose, I want to be swing trader and sometimes trade the news. He will pick that and then he will be learning modules for that. So it's going to be great. And So news trading is coming in January. Then we will be tracking and using as Confluence powerful market moving entities on crypto markets as algorithmic firms. That's another type of edge. ETFs, that alone is also edge, because they are affecting market every single day. They're doing New York session. You need to know what they are doing. And finally, options. Options will take, like after all these three big modules I mentioned, options will be taking most of my time. We can use options as a hedge for our investment portfolios. We can use them as a swing trade, directional swing trade for the longer duration without stop loss. You know, you lose value of option if it's going against you, but you can sleep really well. You don't have to worry about stop loss pretty much, because market can float and move around it. It can like go away. There is pretty much very different trading when you have like true swing trade or day trade and you have that stop loss. So if you know direction will be going your way, very likely options are perfect for you as a swing trades, you know, as well. And finally, option edge is also used every single day in traditional markets. It's same for crypto now, because the volume on options are still growing, and even right now Bitcoin is at 100k 85k range. But why? Because the options are setting the boundaries. 85k is huge option. It was protected so many times. We've longed 85k region so many times I can't even count so much profit from those trades. Same way to the upside, 100k got protected with the 85k defenses. They didn't let Bitcoin to get to 100k. So we need to master options. For me, it's final piece of the puzzle. Once options are mastered, you know, will be faster, you know, very fast, going much faster into the retirement. So, you know, I will never retire from this game, but I will very likely trade less and less as the time moves forward, because the equity is growing and I don't need to scalp, for example. It's just like passion, and still want to educate people on that. But yeah, the trading in the future will be different than it is right now for me. And the easier it gets, the better. The better edge we get, the easier it gets. So what we do in today's video, I will check technical analysis. You will see how Bitcoin is looking right now. We will check macro. I also made a post for our group, but I will show you that, what my predictions are for 2026 from macro perspective, because it's going to affect crypto. We can check Orderflow, more high time frame Orderflow. I will show you a bit of Onchain. And this is going to be it, and we will just let market chill for the next 2 weeks. I will also show you those options I was mentioning, right? So let's start. So let's put structure on this. So we can go into macro first. Macro fundamentals, here we are. So just very briefly, what my expectations are from 2026. You know, the smaller the time frame, the more precise I am. Yeah, show me scalps. You know how precise we, you know, the crazy scalps we are taking. 85% win rate or take profit one. Day trades, same thing, high win rate. But the higher we go into the future, the less, you know, nobody actually sees the future. You can only make odds on estimates. So everything you see here can be taken with you know, grain of salt. But overall, there is a good reasoning. We might see 20% drawdown on S&P 500, because midterm years tends to be choppy and often bring us negative returns when you have 3 strong years in a row. What is different? Like AI revolution has a larger magnitude than internet revolution, because this is going to be changing world for the next 5 to 20 years. It's starting because you need AI for the robotics. You couldn't even imagine how world is going to look like in 10, 20, 30 years. We will be very likely mining some, you know, mining some materials from space when I will be like 65 years old. So world is changing, and yes, we can be in a short-term bubble. There can be some valuations going down on some of those companies, but this is just starting. And people, we very likely lose many jobs around the world. The AI is coming for all of them. So you need to pretty much be invested for that. Anyway, 20% drawdown possible on S&P 500, or we will stay more irrational. That's another, like, I would say 65% chance we see the choppy or bear year ahead for the equities, and that will also mean crypto will not do well. There is 35% chance we will not do that. And when it happens, I'm already doing dollar cost averaging. You know my entries I did. Even 87k Bitcoin, 84k Bitcoin, 81k Bitcoin. entries. Plus I bought some of the Ethereum cheaper, closer to 3k. I constantly do DCA. I don't spend all my money. I still keep 55% of equity ready for much deeper pullbacks. In case we get to 35% chance we will continue higher in 2026, I have exposure. So you see, nobody can see the future. You need to, because leaving money in your bank account is absolutely crazy. You know, you have super high inflation around the world. Even when they are reporting low, is of course unofficial inflation is very high. Okay, so yes, it would make sense to do some drawdowns. We don't know what's gonna trigger it. It can be possibly Japan. We will discuss it a bit later here. We also, like, the one of the source of pullback possibly is very high valuations in the AI sector, because they are pretty much they are priced in for the perfect growth. Yeah, so if there will be more earnings problems in the future, we can be reactive. You cannot predict this. If we see weakness in the AI sector, it's gonna come from weak earnings. So we can be reducing portfolios or just taking shorts on crypto and so on. Like if Nvidia it fails with orders, that can be alone triggering a massive pullback in the markets. So we will be watching that. Crypto will go over a mini bear market and it will bottom out during summer or autumn 2026. I expect Bitcoin to not go into most obvious bearish targets, but front run people into multi-week range. That's still valid while Bitcoin is trading below 100k. Start trading above 100k, things can change pretty rapidly, because if you, for example, reclaim 110k, you can literally negate current pullback. Okay, so I'm reactive trader, but I also see signs of strength and signs of weakness, so I'm not gonna be married to idea if I see the chart is changing, if the order flow is changing. But right now, this is the baseline scenario which is connected to the S&P drawdown as well. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, because until you lose 74k properly on chart is not confirmed bear market, because high time frame structure is still higher lows and higher highs. Yes, overall I'm seeing like 50 times more bearish articles on Bitcoin and crypto. Pretty much many institutional and rich asset class, they missed cheap Bitcoin entries, cheap crypto entries. I'm talking about Bitcoin, nobody cares about shitcoins. Only few altcoins are good. And I think they are orchestrating that final pullback for themselves so they can load up, because Bitcoin, like most people owning Bitcoin are still people who bought it for less than $1,000. It's visible on Onchain. And if you go here to this post, look at that. So this tells you everything pretty much. Glassnode data shows us well accumulated 270k of Bitcoins worth of 23 billion in the last 30 days. Largest inflow since 2013. They are after your cheap Bitcoin. We've seen this massive sell to the downside, yes, but someone is absorbing that on the other side. So who do you think that is? Here you have that answer. Shark positions, people who have 100 to 1000 Bitcoins. This is rich asset. This is not middle class. This is upper class or rich people with their wallets. They are buying your cheap Bitcoin. So in 1, 2, 3 years, you will be very sad you sold your Bitcoin. So just do not sell your Bitcoin. Do not get spooked by these bear markets, because bear markets, I expect, unless we get like huge financial crisis or just huge recession, Bitcoin shouldn't go to some crazy levels like 20k again. Okay, anything's possible, but in normal pullbacks like we have right now, still when economy is doing fine, inflation is holding, these people are buying your Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay, and then we have the new Fed chair will try to convince the rest of the board to lower rates into much deeper levels. That depends on data, so he might get easier job or not. This step is needed so US pay less for its gargantuan debt. Service cost is now twice larger than military budget. Lower interest rates can stimulate us into next bull market. So the Fed is always part of almost any cycle we have on Bitcoin and crypto, like all the big cycles, especially altcoins. When you want to see them going up, the Fed needs to do quantitative printing, easing, and rates needs to be lower. You need people to do well in the economy. They need to have spare money so they can invest into most risky asset classes, which are shitcoins. Bitcoin is no longer that. So what will Fed do is gonna affect everything, and I think if everything goes well, the Fed is changing when the first half of the year is ending. which means they will then the new Fed chair, which is going to be pro-Trump and pro-printing, very likely he's gonna stimulate the economy, and he might give us that secondary bull market we all wait for in crypto into the probably into the end of Trump's term. Yes, and plus they will have midterm elections, I think in October or November in US, and they don't want to see markets in a heavy down when people are voting for that, because they will try to secure markets are pretty much up when the vote is gonna come, because everybody likes high equities and ideally even crypto, because many voters are coming from crypto. Now we have the Black Swan event, possible Black Swan event brewing up coming from Japan. Each crisis was coming from other various reasons, but sometimes it was Europe, sometimes it was US, but this time Japan is going out like their financial, their rate is now at 30-year high, and they also have very weak yen. You can read more about this in the more in-depth articles. I just want to say we need to keep attention and pay attention on Japan, because they, if things go wrong, and they, because they're ending, like they were pushing inflation to 30 years to the downside, yes. So when that fails, they might be forced to sell some US equities and bonds. They are trying to do controlled exit from their policy, from the monetary policy, but if it fails, it can have global consequences for the thing. Plus, lots of capital was built on. You could borrow money in Japan almost for free, so many speculative positions were built out of Japan. We've seen that last summer during August, I think, when we had that big crash. And yeah, the things can come and they can become bad. For now, it's controlled, so just keep an eye on it. I will not be discussing this on video. Gold should do well anyway, because it's hedge. Like with Bitcoin, they are creating best hedge against a treasury's bear market. And be prepared, this is what I expect. Many more articles will be shown about quantum threat for crypto, and it's gonna spark extra FUD. So this can be another reason we might see more pullbacks on crypto. It's one of the reasons crypto lost its premium, definitely, because I've seen so many people believing the quantum can crack Bitcoin and altcoins. Possible fork for Bitcoin, like the main job during 2026 will be to do some patch, so Bitcoin is quantum resistant. They might very likely create some wallet where when you put your Bitcoin, it's gonna be quantum resistant. That's most elegant solution without any larger changes, and migrate the network there. That there is a still threat, something like Satoshi coins will stay unprotected. I don't think we should be worried much about quantum. I'm watching quantum. It's still very early stages. They need many times more operational power to break system, and even if they do so, they will crack all the other things first. So but it can still cause lots of fear in the market, and it's fuel for the, if Bitcoin is falling in like bear market, this can be additional cost. We will see how this goes. If you are worried about that, when we get the general pullback in market, I would like to get a bit of exposure in quantum, maybe some ETF, because quantum exposure can hedge. If quantum succeeds, pretty much you will lose value in crypto if they are not resistant to quantum hack, and you can have some quantum exposure. And plus, supply chains problems are expected due to AI. So if you are building PC, so it's a bit of topic, but if you are building PC, I would not wait. We will see more shortages of other resources which are needed for the data centers. The data centers backlog is now going into 2028, 2029, because there are simply no resources. So it can be very odd world where gaming will be, for example, if you want powerful PC, it's gonna be very expensive for you. That will be very strange times, but possible. As I say here, we can predict black or white swan events or some key macroeconomical reports which can change the way we go. So some situations will be reactive, but we can ride the broad long-term trends. AI is here to stay, robotics and space sector is coming, and when Fed goes into proper quantitative easing, you will get your pumps. We will go over this post into December 2026. So that's for now macro. Let me show you just briefly the options. Market still trading today, but again, I'm not trading for the next 2 weeks, as you saw in announcements. So Deribit, the most important day for you is coming in 4 days, I think. 26th of December, we have the largest option expiry. Again, look at here, if you like super simplify options, 85k is a region where many people who were shorting Bitcoin options market were, putting puts on, taking puts position, puts exposure. That was their profit taking. So 85k, we were like, this was easy as longs time for us. So many longs in this region, even if briefly lost our total traders, doesn't matter. This is region, and we were building new longs here. I have two longs on Bitcoin and 1 on Ethereum. Up here, I took another profit, actually reduced one of the positions strongly, and a swing trade I'm keeping into the for much larger targets, but we will go over that, how to manage those positions. So on 26th of December, this is the largest, I think this is second largest option expiry of this year, 24 billion. This could be even a largest one. I think 23 or 22 is record of this year. And it's still growing. So once this goes off, you will lose that, because Bitcoin is still pressured to stay about maximum pain price, 96k. This is what they were defending for the many weeks. I mean, for like 2-3 weeks. Once you when you stay below this line, most of the people who were more bullish on options market for Bitcoin are losing money or just expiring worthless. Not much money made. So this is their incentive, and after 26th of December, if there is a spot bid, that's crucial information here, because yes, you will lose one pressure in the market, but you need to see some spot coming back, bidding market back. If you see that, we can easily see like nice move into 100k plus, especially into the new year when the new capital is coming into the market. So keep an eye attention on this. There can be some volatility on this day as well. We tend to see that on Deribit. And we will see how it goes. And after that, I will be analyzing options as we move forward into the new year. 85k still big level to be defended for the next few days, definitely. Even without options, it's still very interesting level. But options are definitely adding they were adding protection to this. Then you can check other positioning in the market after that. You see open interest buildup is not that large still, so this is just monster which needs to be cleared. One more thing I want to mention, every single year, most of the time on crypto, after New Year started, we've seen moves to the upside. Sometimes it started right away on New Year, sometimes it started on like few days after, because when you go to calendar, this is the week when we have very low volumes. This is very bad week to trade. This is also a week where many people take holidays because it's New Year. They are just connecting that. Many traders, proper traders, are returning right here at 5th. So this week can be still a bit dull. This is also, these first 2 days will be interesting because it's New Year start. Maybe we will see some inflows into crypto already on those days, but this is going to be more important when I'm returning back to market. Yeah, when proper capital is returning. So be aware, we might see some inflows because right now everybody made profits. The books are closing, last transactions are done for the client, so it's looking good on book. But New Year is when the capital on the sidelines can enter the market into the new quarter and New Year, and then you might see some inflows into the crypto. Or we will, if we get bad year, sometimes you see like big sell-offs right away because people are positioning themselves for the downside on, you need to watch equities for that, yeah? Depends what are the expectations from the market, okay? So that's that. We can now move to technical analysis to see how is Bitcoin doing, 15-minute time frame. Maybe some market participants, they found like this trading here to me was absolutely awesome, because I like when trade is going for swing trade when we do breakouts, but this is even better. You make a lot of money here. If you position yourself as a day trader and scalper, just make money on all these reversals. This was happening again with the options market. They were putting us into this big range, plus spot markets also, they were providing heavy walls both directions. We knew we need to trade this 85k up to 95k. Shorts here, longs here, that was the whole story. It was very, like, we were trading this live in the talk with the group. I told them what I want to see for more upside, and it was perfectly covered with Exocharts reversals. what I want to say right now, we should now go to technical analysis to see things. By the way, I had trade area here. So you see, this was funny, like we were longing here for a long time, but market was front running my trade area, but you see what happened. Just little kiss, goodbye. This was general area of interest where I was looking to like market to defend. It was cool to see. It was just a kiss of the start of the area, and we just reacting. So, but again, no financial advice in the video, just education, entertainment. Yeah, just remember that. I personally took. I will be very likely closing one long I have here from here, because this is now, if there is no volume, you can easily range here. So one trade could be closed, and another long can be left as a swing trade from this place, and you will still look for nice shorts in these areas because this is middle of the range. Yeah? So it's not ideal here. You trade swing failure pattern out of this low, and did you clear those low highs? Yes, no, not all of them, but you as we are in the holiday season, swing failure patterns have a harder time to materialize because many market participants who are creating swing failure patterns are not trading already. You were getting reaction from all these highs, so yeah, that can be your hedge. Look at, by the way, on the symmetry. Even symmetry is like always powerful. So you see, we've got the big bounce from 80k, then we've got 10% pullback. Then market was starting a new pullback with our new shorts, and then we've got the 10% pullback, and you see how market is showing you the symmetry to the downside. And it's not just traders. Remember, this is also people who are on spot. They want to buy Bitcoin when it's cheap. 10% pullbacks they were viewing on the first pullback as a great sign to enter. Same thing here, only small deviation, 10% pullback viewed and bought back. So symmetry very good. Let's go now to some range. This is still giving us the area where we are ranging. Look at that precision. Yes. Like as I explained you in other videos and posts, I'm not surprised Bitcoin is ranging here. This is maximum pain zone. Just perfect, 1-to-1 deviation out of this range to the upside, lots of ranging, same thing to the downside, 1-to-1 deviation. Everyone who bought Bitcoin up here is selling it here, while smart capital, they're absorbing those Bitcoins and just building positions, and we are just ranging here easily out of this range, because you can view this, you will see in AMT, this is still providing support from the previous range, okay? Market structures, this is combination of high, medium and local time frame market structures, the most important ones for me. 1 hour time frame, you see on Friday, on Thursday, we went into the naked market structure with this low, finally retested, held very well, perfect. Now I want to see market creating new support out of this gray market structure, but we still face this, like this is what was putting on the top of our bounce, yeah, the one, look how old this one is, actually this is from, it's gonna be visible on 4 hour time frame. I make this smaller. The previous support was like we were shorting in these higher regions because we knew this could be turning into first resistance after 80k bounce. That's what happened. If you start pushing above these highs, then you will have this market structure resistance here, both naked, and it's also coming from this low, very key, and it literally started here. So you can look for that 98k to 100k for new reaction. And here you expect pretty much more chop, yes. So until there is huge volume spike, it's just, holiday, unlikely. But if you want to see more upside, 93,500 needs to, like, you cannot spend just 1 hour above it or just 2-3 hours just VIX. No, you need to build value above there. Then something is brewing for more upsides, okay? So this was traded almost, but this low is still not taken. For me, I will tell you where I will have alerts after the technical analysis start, or I can mention it during it, why not? But this low, you can have alerts. Yes, this can be, because you can take out this low and this low for a swing failure pattern. So I will have one alert here. And you still have a naked market structure here to be traded for the future reaction as well. You pretty much want to see swing failure pattern or failed auction, then stability here and push. That's why I have it here. Is also another place I have alerts for to trade this during holiday for the next 2 weeks. Absolutely great idea to build swing trades out of this, so watching that. Not much to say about impulse liquidity, we don't have anything in close. Value areas local, so this low at 80k got defended from the like this is last range before you literally break down or just create another high time frame swing failure pattern. Just be careful when you lose this low and watch that 5-day point of control, which can give you another bounce, or you will just do full rotation if this is lost, so you watch that. But I want to talk more about medium time frame AMT. This is giving everything we need. 2-hour time frame. So you see what we are doing pretty much since 17th of November. We are in a 1 month range. Right now, when you were longing here, when I was longing here, the crucial step for me was to push over this 1 month val and then push over this and then do bullish backtest and then start pushing to the upside. So that already happened. I will be, when I will be charting after New Year, I will be making some lines less visible because they traded so many times already. But you can see final targets if you continue pushing is your 1 month VAH up here at 93,200, and then if you start pushing above these highs, you know, we can push much larger to the upside, much stronger. This is great reward ratio area for shorts just from AMT because we have volume limbo here. Like we were ranging in this area, but we had very impulsive price action here and also here. So I would like to fill this with new volume and ultimately look for short in this box. Same thing to the downside. This is still AMT best reward ratio area for swing longs from this medium time frame. Out of this low, you still look for beautiful trades out of this box. And you can see how even on the pullbacks, even on first day, was that first day or Saturday? Friday, yeah, sorry. On Friday, again, another front run of, because you also have high volume node here, right? So you reuse previous range. This is final range before you go for much deeper pullbacks. High volume, this 2 months was priced here, you know, when Trump was causing trouble with tariffs. 2 months market built so much volume here, and all that areas were now getting like super crucial for supports, yeah. So you didn't need to trade longs in this area, for example, but you could be very patient and wait in the extremes of from the previous range support, yeah. So here in this zone, 3 times, even if you pushed into, this was wider trade area from before, so you pushed into my trade area, but then reclaim back into this was very crucial, and three rejections already from this high volume node. Fantastic. Anchor VWAPs, how are they doing? Should be very choppy because the market is still locked in range. 80k VWAP still I'm watching. Lots of battle for it right now. This one, you see how market is springing up because it's reclaiming both anchor VWAPs as you know, you pretty much now need to stay above this so you can push much into the high regions. We still have naked anchor VWAP from this high, from 115k. It is a bit region, yeah, so you see anchor VWAPs doesn't have to be precise point, but here it rejected market pretty strongly. I have alert on this one, so I can't, you know, it's gonna match this high, so it can be potentially another trade, plus more anchor VWAPs. This one is coming from top, but you actually will see anchor VWAP from top in this box. And look how much job we are getting from, you know, these are bull, like this box here is defending bull market pretty much. If this is, while this is holding, for me it's not confirmed bear market while this box is holding. Trade below this box and start you know, creating new value and change structure below. Lose this low, for me is confirmed bear market. This box is everything because it's tracking all the volume from the bull market. So yes, very strong defense. Look at that. These anchor VWAP started a long time ago from 25k. And we still have untouched naked VWAP from anchor VWAP from 126k high, currently at 102k. Also good to watch alert for that. Extensions, nothing changed there. symmetry, we don't need to. Yeah, this box also. Pretty decent consolidation. Is like important for market if you don't want to see these lows to be just creating bottom of the new range in the violet box. While this is happening is really good because again you are protected. Is like bullish retest of the previous range, and then you can go into much higher levels. Trading below this and creating new value here, just super high risk. You will go for this low ultimately. So for me, fantastic, we are holding this box, and you see where we are topping. Like this is one of the most respected extension pools I have in the chart. It was predicting all the key ranges to the upside, to the downside. For even that pullback, yes, we only found power to go into the 1.5 backtest. You know, reclaim 94,200, and then you can go here 100k. 772 is waiting to build new volume here, and it's gonna be a matter of time. Here you build very little volume, so it was making sense. Bitcoin is gonna build some volumes here. Same thing is gonna happen here. New range very likely, and Bitcoin will be populating area with new volume. Yeah, it's beauty. Balance zones. Just watching the latest balance zone can be like this, 125. Yeah. And very old one, yes, very old one, 72k. Okay, I'm keeping this one for the symmetry of the market. I'm mainly keeping this one for the symmetry because you see what Bitcoin did here. First it was rejecting 0.75 2 times, and then we went for 1-to-1 extension, and we still have that 1-to-1 extension naked. Yes, it's still naked. It can in the future, when you take this low, 72k can be start of the failed auction for this. That's the whole reason I'm keeping this pool. Yeah. Fips, all tracking all the sell fips to the upside. We up closes, not much, nothing new. Trap traders, how they're looking. Yes, we can talk about these guys briefly. So the largest positions for which were positioning to the downside are here. It was 17,000 open interest increase, and 60% of that open interest were shorts. If you want to see larger short squeeze on Bitcoin, well, you need to go above this area. So you squeeze them. Yeah, and this is huge size for open interest exposure. It's very likely also can retest bearishly the first retest because you have 40% long strap there. So first reaction down, but then up. So this box is very crucial. And locally we already destroyed open interest. We will go over open interest a bit later. How is weekly time frame looking? You see why Bitcoin is fighting to not confirm bear markets, because on this time frame you can clearly see it's still higher highs and higher lows. But taking out this low is going to change the structure. It can put us into structural bear market. Monthly time frame. Monthly time frame is still looking okay. This was very bad candle for the structure, but again this low is holding, and we still defend very crucial. Like we've closed 2 times in the month here. There was that retest, we still hold. I think like while you hold about this is good for you if you have exposure for longs. You don't want to see market closing below this. It's gonna be very likely we retest the low and then go for the previous range back test. Point of controls, not much to say here. I think we are still chopping in between the good ones. Some may be very creative in this range, but I'm not going to be charting. Next 2 weeks, composite block also traded great. I don't think we have CME gap, do we? We don't have, I don't think so. 1 hour time frame, no CME gap. Let's go back to charting. Let's see. Monthly open still at 90,328. There is still battle for it. I think we even rejected right now from it, just briefly. So you see market still no power to reclaim that for now. I think in previous YouTube videos I went over this high time frame analysis. Don't want to repeat myself. You know how I'm thinking, what needs to happen for what. $50K is still the most bearish target I have for 2026 in case equities go down and Bitcoin. But overall, if 50K is lost, there is no fight for it at the end. We can be, bottoming out in this box. That would be aligning with 20-30% pullback on S&P 500, okay? But 50K is gonna be very strong, in my opinion. 49 for 50K. And if you ask yourself where to buy cheap Bitcoin because these are not bull market support, this is previous bear market and bull market combined, previous cycle support. Here is your place where Bitcoin gets, when you should be expose yourself for the Bitcoin. 50K to down to 44. Yeah, this is like this reclaim was super good, and I will not be surprised to see massive bullish backtests of this in the future in case Bitcoin gets that pullback. But again, first many things need to happen, like this low needs to be lost and this range. For now it's still Bitcoin is looking weak, but at least it's putting some new structure, it's consolidating, it's still above this low. So yeah, we will see. And we also, we have this, like from the bear market lows, these anchor VWAPs tracking 60K, they are a bit higher. Almost every single VWAP which I had on my chart was giving some nice reaction because I only have them from the key points. We can argue, even if you lose this low, these anchor VWAPs pretty much are tracking the bull market. But again, the structure will be changed if you lose that, so yes, you can also watch this, but I would be preferring to hit those. Yes, I will be showing you later on for the better support. But there can be a strong defense also on these VWAPs, especially this one. This is coming from Monday 21st of November, now at 68,000. But technical analysis only can take you so much. You need to know where you create pain for the ETF market, yeah, because ETFs were pumping Bitcoin from this point, like they were starting here. So where is the maximum pain for ETF markets? This is the start of them, yeah. Of course, it's gonna be below this low, and here, like going into below 40K. This is gonna put everybody who bought ETF Bitcoin into minus. This is one massive pain point. Where is another pain point for you? It's Sailor. I think Sailor current price for the Bitcoin is average is like 77K possibly. So here it's very bad, it's below this low. So if you fail swing failure pattern, world will be pushing articles and Twitter will be raging. Sailor is gonna sell Bitcoin, they will crash the market. So another big level, because Sailor gave us all these pumps. He was buying Bitcoin that nobody wanted. He was draining cheap Bitcoin from the marketplace. But same way he can be double-edged sword. Yeah, when you go below his average, market can be panicking. I don't think he is forced to sell for the next 5-10 years. I'm studying this company because I made very good money with MicroStrategy, life-changing opportunity it was for me. But if you get below that line, you see it's one simple line on chart, but it's gonna have massive impact. And no amount of anchor VWAPs might help you when you get below that. So be aware below, like macro, not macro, on-chain supports and resistance, they are crucial. That's why I made these posts and I educate you on this. Let me show you that one more time in case some of people who are watching are new. Oh, so many posts from me, can't even find it. Yeah, I need to go away. yeah, here you are. Yes, all these things matter for you. Move below 75k, 70k might signal bear market as you will trap all institutional capital mentioned above. Market we look to squeeze them out and force them into capitulation. You know, these are the best capitulation when you squeeze most of the market. Right now we didn't squeeze as many people, only like late money who bought Bitcoin above 100k. These people got destroyed, but not all institutional cohorts got red. You see strategies here, and you also have like 75k. Another average ETF cost basis right now is 81k. So even though ETF started buying at 40k, their ETF cost basis is 81k, and that's one of the reasons we defended 80k on the big pullback. Also, it's true market mean, not just ETF. So that's another big, like this was the first sign of support. I can show you that Onchain here. Yeah, look at that support. So ETF on like average was defended here, but also the true mean price. This is also more longer average. Now I see like the main problem for me is still STH cost basis. Yes, in previous cycles when we compare, I mentioned it many times, but I want to see something like during Trump if I want to see bull market resumed. Yeah, so you see we have signals when bull market can be resuming, but so far there are none. Like here, we were for 2 months in the range. Maybe we will repeat similar symmetry and similar pattern as during tariff bottoming. 2 months of range, then reclaim of the STH as here, and then push into the new all-time highs. Absolutely possible, but there will be fight for that. But the more time you spend below STH, yes, below this line, let me turn off what you don't need to see, so it's not going to distract you. DMA, absolutely we don't need. Yeah, so the more time you spend below this line, the worse it gets. And we've got the bearish retest here as well at 115k, which was also our secondary short from on top of all-time high swing short. And you know, if you lose the true mean price, the next big on-chain support is now at 56k. Here is going to be no financial advice, but another great point to load up Bitcoin. But this is very crucial to hold this all 80k. So much institutional defense here. And same thing with the, what is good, at least the revived supply breakdown. Like it seems like the worst selling is now over. That's why we are also seeing the stability. But you see same peak of sell side, which you know, which woke up here at the October or November 2024, also peaked. Yes, so all people who wanted to sell Bitcoin are now gone from the market. Let's zoom in into recent history. Yes, it's still dropping. That's lovely to see. It's adding to our stability. I would like to see, like, you see how if we don't want to see bear market and continuation of bull market, we want to see this continuously going down. I don't want to see this increasing in waves again, yeah, because this is gonna be adding and showing me there is more pressure in the market. This needs to calm down into these levels we are here. And then you see how the bottoming process started. Once this wave ended, there was accumulation, then we started pushing to the upside. Maybe it's gonna align with the summer, we will see. And this metric here is also like very simple. When we are in true bear markets, we are spending lots of time below in negative territories. We are pretty much red here. This is all about STH cost basis, right? So you see how the 2021 was developing. We started, you see, I cannot zoom as much because I just want to show you things. Modern era. No, modern era we cannot. Cycle 4, yes, here you can see it a bit better. But you see we are doing a pretty similar fractal. We retested like here bearish, we retested bearishly the STH. All the people who bought Bitcoin past few months are now trapped. They are as resistance, and then we started trending down. And we spent so much time, everyone who bought Bitcoin just got bleeded out. There were brief speaks of green into, but then they were met with quickly at STH again as a resistance. So for me, the new piece of information will be how we react with STH in the future. If there will be reclaim or rejection. Another rejection can signal truly the bear market continuations. Right now there is a hope because we are right now at 0. So we will see if we start to peak out and build a new value above. Prolonged periods of time in the red and you have the bear market on your hands, sadly. And even on the bear markets, how you reverse them, you see big push with the volume over STH, and then you reclaim it as a support and you start trending above it. Briefly lost, but then you reclaim and then push. Yeah, very useful. Let's do like final recent history zoom, how we are looking very close. Yes, here we are, still below it, but there is that battle here. Future right now it's at 100k. Yes, it's some metrics are showing it at 96,000 and some metrics are showing that at it's 94. Is like very wide region, 95k region from other metrics, from not on Onchain but other things, other tools, sorry, not other things. So is 95k is very crucial for me, but then here is at 100k, so it's very regional, 95 to 100k. Okay, so like in summary, what will be my areas of interest? I also was pretty optimistic we might see Santa Claus rally. I think we are getting that. ES1 still positive. Yeah, pretty much positive for now. And where I will have alerts for my holiday. So just let me do summary. So you can be watching this low along with this low for the liquidity grab and swing failure pattern. Yeah, that, and then of course 80k, because this box here will be very juicy, even here. Plus this is wider box, of course, but I'm not sure if I want to trade such a wider box. I would rather see move right into this box, take out this low, and then give me another swing trade to the upside. I want to trade 94,500 if case we are reversing and staying in the range for longer. Already one more in the range. If this is pushing, then we start to move into order flow analysis. We can also focus on liquidity for the holidays. Market will very likely grab one of the extremes of the liquidity or both of them. But you see, we still left like huge liquidity above 94k. So once this is taken without swing failure pattern, you can expect moving to 96. Yes. And to the we are still pushing into how long we are building this. Let's go away 16. So for the past 8 days, we are building that shorts liquidity here and still defend that with swing failure patterns. But if you take out this high, it's very likely we'll just take that. But still people are shorting here. It's logical, this was resistance in the past. Don't forget you have inefficiency here. High volume move with one side delta on the sell side, which means market will try to fill that inefficiency to the upside in the liquidity. This is perfect time when you, for example, build long here, you will be adding to your long here because it's gonna be creating you additional profits, but still defended, yeah? During holidays, you skip areas. Below us, we do have liquidity from 84,000 down to 82, so maybe wise to have alert somewhere at the end of the liquidity. It's also end of my box, and it's gonna be matching the low as well. Yeah, so this low very crucial for me to have alert, and then lower. So we pretty much are moving into order flow analysis. Some of it is more short term, some of it is more long term, but let's see. We can have a look on these days are like a holiday already for me, at least, so just want to see what we did over the weekend. So you can see you are trying to harm delta more on the buy side. Yes, I'm watching here, market has more longs than shorts. It's very visible and it's trying to squeeze some longs. Look at that, into pretty much into the highs as well. That's Binance and Bybit. Open interest going up slightly, delta bars more on the buy side with the CVD. So again, even Bybit also has pretty decent amount of longs in this area, so market is trying to squeeze them as well. Order books, we need Binance spot and Binance perpetual, so you see where the passive market participants will be eating their turkey or Christmas dinner, where they will have their orders. Zooming out, 5-minute time frame. These swing failure patterns were very juicy, by the way. You see them, yeah, like these two highs together. Someone was defending with the walls. Tight swing failure pattern. Your stop loss is tight. You're getting 2% easy. Binance perpetuals, like since 10th of October, we have much less positions in the order books because some market makers that got destroyed. Nothing that significant, but here at least something we do have. 83,600 down to 83,200. We have some demand on the perpetual markets. Spot market more important. Market now reacting from that spot wall, pretty big one. I will show you bear markets more in TRDR. Spot in this. You see that big demand below us. Yeah, like so many people want to buy cheap Bitcoin. I can show you this one, tape surf. Yes, we do refresh, so we can identify even easier those key areas you need to watch during holidays. I can zoom in one step so it's visible for you a bit better. So 100k, decent defense there, pretty stacked. Then all the round levels. And closer to us we do have 92k, nothing strong, but buy side is much stronger below us, especially when the lower you go. And from 82k, this is why I will be looking for nice swing longs, because from 82k on Bitcoin we do see very strong defense on spot markets. Coinbase and Binance, these are the two most powerful entities on the planet still on crypto, so you better watch where they have their orders. And they want to fill, and they can easily exhaust market when someone will be selling into those walls with such orders. So even down to 80k, huge defense. This look like such order books to me look like market wants to do high time frame swing failure pattern from 80k region, from 82 to 80k. Even when you go below, there is still even more demand protecting. You know what, the big low 75k, also massive defense. They don't want to see this broken. Even if it does, it can exhaust the market. Yeah, so we have some very juicy levels. And now let's go to TRDR. Refresh. Okay, let's start with all the core templates. You know, on Friday we were taking longs. Look at that, blue bands. 85% win rate since 2024. Again, that was the easiest position of the day. So you need such an edge to be good on swing trades at any trades. Pretty much when we had a significant spot buy side, each time we stabilize in the range, sell side also, but you see how the sell side is actually like, they are not even fighting that move to the upside as much. Doesn't mean that we don't reverse, but it's fighting less, that we don't have as much bands. And actually perpetual orders are trying to still be on the buy side. So it's a bit different compared to here. There is less pressure to the upside, that's all I can say. On the spot market, there was not enough to show you the bands. These are the most strongest signals. Look at that, all the bands, huge move to the upside. With TRDR trading this job is extremely valuable, profitable job, because it's 5 to 10% job, so that's what you want to see. Here is already showing you we are in holiday mode because no big thresholds are getting mad. We are just chopping in between 1.6 billion, 1 billion to negative to 1 billion to positive. That's just classic. Nothing to talk about. Liquidation, open interest. Let me see if there is some build up. Okay, there is some build up. Is this from today? Yeah. We do have build up from 6,000 Bitcoins. Very interesting. So many people trade Bitcoin even during holidays. How is the CVD doing? I like to use this more for intraday. But one thing I can immediately watch from like all the weekend from 19, yeah. Even if I turn off the perpetuals here, you see what is spot doing. So spot pretty significant sell side, but you just go sideways. Someone is absorbing those spot sellers. We just continue down, but we still range. So this is already bullish CVD for you. Even here, like the deviation is getting even stronger. You push to the upside, the CVD is going down, there's another bullish CVD for you out of, weekend's bullish CVD, so you have like multiple bull CVD on top of each other. But there was some absorptions here. You can see that clearly, like heavy spot buying, but it didn't get you much somewhere. So someone said it's enough. We might be putting some immediate like top on the market. They are absorbing and now they are selling heavily, but even sellers are still getting absorbed. Yeah, you already you're still in this range. Steady, still very weak bear CVD. Even when the delta is pushing, there are some absorptions. So yeah, pretty cool. TRDR. Yeah, market will try to squeeze those people. You can analyze in Exocharts exactly who is positioned where. You have some longs here and shorts as well, so it's a mix. But overall, you have more longs because the delta is pointing to the upside. So in case you get larger pullback, it's expected to see open interest decrease. But overall, we just range on the open interest. No massive increases. All the shorts got destroyed. It was the most easiest short squeeze we've had there on a chart. CVD, so Coinbase is selling a bit. Again, not much to do out of this data because it's end of the year, so not much to say. And this template might look very simple, but it's still beautiful. It's still so beautiful. I told that there's very clearly, we look for shorts with the Binance here from 93 to 90, like it's very wide region, but we were already looking for shorts because the pressure was here. We started biting here. You put stop losses behind those walls, and we knew even when we were at 93k, we knew the start of support is starting from 85k down to 80k. Where did we bottom out? Is it mystery? Is it X-Files or whatever? No, it's just fact. We started bottoming out right at 85k multiple times. This is how you grow your account. Next week holidays will be financed just with this range. So thank you very much. Wife is happy. He's approving as well. So 85k, and now those walls. Now the sell side, you see, even if you continue higher, you still have that sell side on every single barrier. So it's not easy for Bitcoin to just move over illiquid books. Now it's more smaller walls, so they are spreading the walls. There is not. Here we had more like big walls at the certain areas, and now we have like smaller walls in other areas. So as I was showing you in the tape surf, you will see that better in other template. Aggregated spot market, because there was just Binance. Here we see more of the market, and you see this demand. Like so many smaller walls are protecting 86 to 83,000. They want to fill orders. Large ones are still here, as I was mentioning, 82 to 80k, and lots of sell side above us. So ranging is the most likely outcome for the Bitcoin, it seems, just from the order books. We will see after New Year's inflows and option expiry, but you will need lots of genuine volume to break out of this chop. Funding rate, nothing to say. Swing template working like a charm, because here I'm watching only Binance and Coinbase. Just beautiful. Those who don't have time for trading, they know what to look for. Scaling into positions with such bands, and scaling out and looking for shorts with such bands. Pressure. On Friday we had finally, like after so long, how long? Yeah, after not so long, but in terms of trading, yes, after 8 days we finally got, actually it was happening here already, we've got the oversold condition on open interest RSI. There was then that one final low, and then we started moving to the upside. Now we go into the overbought conditions, so it's just job for the range. Perpetual walls, yes. Here at the Friday, we were watching, because this was very strong demand cluster on perpetual markets, but you see how they cancelled orders. But what does it mean? Does it mean they're just spoofing? That's the general market that's a general misconception in many people's mind. They just entered with market orders. We've seen open interest increasing. Reversal also happening with the price action and order flow. These people, if they see then they are not getting filled, they rather sometimes cancel orders and go like that. So general market support held. And the rest is history. And you can already see, like, we didn't have much. These are just like stabilization walls. Do you see any big orders as we are pushing to the upside? No, but the first larger, like first orders, passive orders, these people entered. They wanted very likely to take profit. Look at the defense, by the way, here, clean. They wanted to take passive profit very likely and just stay as in range. Look where the order starts to increase. Yes. As we go forward. Yes, we move. Yes, here is that wall. Okay, so that was also market, because these I here there was that cluster. Look at that here. Let's not forget one thing. This template is not showing you the 1% from the price, because I just want to keep it clean. So you see these orders were very likely filled here. Yes, giving you reaction. This one as well, like this is big one. So these people who filled positioned here, some of the walls were cancelled, but some of them got filled. Nice. Very clever play, same like us. Want to someone is also defending the 84,000 with a spot cluster here, so pay attention to that. And you see why we are not having easy time, increasing. Sell side on spot market is still there. Again, ignore when it's empty spaces here, because it's not showing 1% from price, but all these are getting filled here. With that CVD absorption I was showing you, like this whole cluster, is exhausting market slowly but surely. Even on spot market, people do swing trading. They just cannot short. They can short only on perpetuals and like derivatives. And with whales, it was even easier. Like if you want to filter everything from market, you know what whales are trying to do. This is showing you only the biggest orders on spot market, like 20 to 50 million. On perpetuals as well. This is combined template. Then you see how they are, how they were trying to build new long positions down to 80k. But they only got filled. These two walls very likely entered with some market orders. And now there is some spoofing. These dots, these are just spoofs. But they still like 92k, and then there is some defense at 95k, but nothing crazy. This is an awesome template to understand how they are filling orders. Same thing here, big orders filled. And now they were trying to take profit even higher, but market was not getting there. Okay, so this is 1 hour video from me. I think is enough for the holiday. So I wish you very successful year ahead of 2026 will be great. Our trading will get easier a bit, maybe less time extensive. Nothing changes for the technical analysis, order flow and price action, but we will have additional edge, and it's gonna make our win rate even higher. I wish you everything best in 2026, and see you in so when I'm back on these 2 weeks are holiday, so I'm back on Monday, 5th of January. In case massive volatility happens in the market or whatever reason, we will be at the range extremes. I will be here. I will give you a report in the group, but YouTube videos from next year. Thank you for watching, traders, and bye. Bye-bye.